let's try it like this. So if I write an A, you can see it. Okay, so today we're gonna try to prove complementary slackness. So yeah, let's go. Complementary slackness proof. Okay, so okay, consider like the standard form primordial pair that we defined in the other video, and so we still have, as before, x star be a feasible point of the primum, we have psi I star lambda j I star feasible point of the dual, and so you know the primal just before the Lagrangian and the dual after the Lagrangian. We pass from min to max or max to min, r sub to m for m to sub, and so yeah, we have this, that's just the variables, and after we have also y star, which is equal to the sum over I of psi star fi plus the sum of j of lambda j star gj minus c, and you see we use the feasible point of the dual to define it. And so yeah, the theorem in itself, complementary slackness, just says it's a trace of x of sum of I of psi star ai plus the sum of j of lambda j star bj is equivalent to x star y star equals 0, and psi star multiplied by ai minus trace of fi xi star equals 0 lambda I. And so yeah, so you know, to proving this, we just need to prove one direction after the other. We go from here and prove this. So for now we prove this direction, and after we prove the other direction, and after it will be good. So first, to prove this, we must know two things. So we know that if we have like R and S being two matrices semi-definite positive, then we automatically have the trace of Rs is equal to 0, equivalent to Rs equals 0 directly. And so we also know that those 3 points are feasible points, x star of the primal and psi star and lambda j star of the dual, so 3 of them are feasible points. Well, if you do a reduction by your own, maybe not to raise this, but let's do it rigorously. And so yeah, just proves the direction. So we go from here and we just write that x star y star equals 0 is equivalent. So we use this theorem to say that this is equivalent to say, because R and S, x star and y star, you need to know that x star and y star are semi-positive definite. So it means we can apply this, and so it implies that x star y star. So we know we have this equivalence. So x star y star being equal to 0, it's equivalent to say that the trace of x star y star is also equal to 0. And so if we replace y star here by its real definition, we just got that it is equivalent to say that we have the sum over I of psi star of the trace of ai x star plus the sum over let's write it here, plus the sum, well no, yeah, plus sum over j of lambda j star trace of gj x star yeah, this generates x star, so this plus this minus the trace of cx star equals 0, and so it's just equivalent to say, and then we pass this here, and so we have sum over a of psi star. I don't know if it's sub c, but anyway, now so g of lambda g star trace on to g. So yeah, just put this here, so it's just equal to this, and then we have writing this, the final equality. So this one with the pre-multiplicity of x star implies like physicality of this implies, like, you know, that we have like trace of fy x star. It's in the definition of a primal, and trace of gj x star is equal to bj, and so because we have this, it also means that the trace of cx star is inferior to sum over I of psi star, because this psi star is superior to 0. This is semi-definite and this is superior to 0, and so the trace of cx star is inferior to the sum of this, and so here it's inferior to ai, you know, so that's why we can write this, and that's inferior. So it's because we know we just replace this by this, so up we switch, we put this, we switch, we put this. But what we know also is that in our theorem we also choose this. We have x star y star equals 0, but we have also this condition. And so this condition just says that at the end, because this is superior to 0, we also have ai is equal to trace of fex, and so because of this we can finally write like trace cx star is equal to the sum of I of psi star ai plus the sum of g of lambda g of bj. And so we just prove this stuff now, because we prove from this and this. So here and here, to go from here to here, it's equal to, it implies that, because here and we already find this, and that's exactly this, so it's okay. And so let's prove this normal sense in a way. So this one, and so this sense, just to say that this, we just need to show that trace of the x star is equal to sum of I of psi star ai plus the sum of j of lambda j star bj, implies that the trace of x star y star equals 0, and psi star ai minus trace of fi x star ai is equal to 0. So now just literally what we write here is this from here. So now literally some calculation, just write it down. So let's write it. So we have the trace of cx star equals the sum of I of psi star AI plus the sum of j lambda j star bj implies that we use the same tricks as earlier, saying that it is superior to the sum over I psi star trace of x star plus the sum over j of lambda j star of the trace of gj x star. And just because we said earlier this it just refer to AI and this is equal to bj, and so you know if we replace this by this, because this refer to AI, and so here we have AI, AI is superior, so AI will be 0, and so that's why it's a sign like this. And so yeah, we pass this from the other side and we factorize by the trace and x star, so it just the trace of x star multiplied by the sum over I of lambda I star AI plus the sum over j of lambda j star gj minus c to minus trace of c star. And so just to go like this, and so here if you remember we just this, let's say the definition of y it's just this, like sum of I of c I star fi plus sum of g of lambda j star jg minus c. So it's superior to the trace of x star y star. And so just after this we can just say that for a feasible point, like we already told earlier, like x star y star is semi-positive definite, so the only case possible to this case will be the trace of x star y star equals 0. And moreover, for all inequalities to be equality, we also need this, that psi star AI minus trace of AI x star equals 0. So yeah, so we also need psi I star AI minus trace of AI x y star equal 0 for all inequalities being equalities. And so we just get the converse, and so we quad error demonstrandum, which is, if you go in Wikipedia, so how they call the CQFD, like today is this, before was this, and now is this, before now. But yeah, so yeah, okay, in a way, finished.